14-year-old Wheeler Ballance of Hatteras, an 8th grade student at Cape Hatteras Secondary School of Coastal Studies, talks about his work as a commercial fisherman in an interview with Susan West. You have a job, don't you?
Yes, ma'am. I clean fish out of the albatross fleet for Mr. Ernie Foster.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been doing that?
This will be my 2nd year.
What kind of fish?
Usually dolphin, or mahi-mahi, whatever.
Okay.
Wahoo, king mackerel, albacore, tuna, jacks.
How did you learn how to clean fish?
I learned it down at the dock from Mr. Brian.
Who's Mr. Brian?
He runs the albatross too. Me and him run clean fish. Mr. Ernie runs the 3rd.
Okay. Is that difficult work?
It can be at times.
Tell me about your parents' work.
Well, my dad's full commercial fisherman, and my mom works at the salon.
Okay.
All 3 of us have our commercial license.
You have a commercial license?
Yes, ma'am.
So, do you go fishing with your dad?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of fishing?
Mainly we do pound netting. It's
Okay.
real old. There's one long piece of net where the fish don't get stuck in it, but they hit it and they'll start to follow it down. Then it comes into a heart, and then that kind of sorts the fish out a little bit, and then they come into a little tunnel, and then they come into a pocket. And the lead into the pocket is raised off the ground, so the flounder, they'll be on the bottom, they'll be circling the net, but they can't get out.
And so how do you get the fish out of there?
We pull the boat inside, we let the rope that's holding up the tunnel down, and we drift down, we put the tunnel on top, and we just kind of move them all to one corner.
And then what?
Just kind of sort out what kind of fish we're going to keep. What we do, we have a big box, put a couple fish in there at a time, and we'll kind of sort what fish we're going to keep and let go.
And do you do that pretty often?
Mm-hmm.
When does that start?
It starts throughout the summer, but we usually do it through the fall, because that's where the migratory flounder start to come out of the sound to go either north or south.
Do you like pound netting?
I love it.
Why?
It's just neat. It doesn't harm the fish. I love it.
I understand last week you went to a Marine Fisheries Commission meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that? In New Bern?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I understand you addressed the commissioners.
Yes.
What did you talk about? Was this about flounder regulations?
Mm-hmm. They're trying to cut pretty much our entire fishery by 60%.
Ooh, geez, big cut. So what did you tell them?
I told them pretty much about my heritage and what flounder fishing means to me.
And what does it mean to you?
Pretty much it's everything. Almost everybody down here commercial fishes.
Have you talked to a commission before, or addressed a commission before?
It's the first time I've ever done it.
What was that like?
Very nerve-wracking.
Was it? You were nervous? Uh-huh. Was there a lot of people there?
Oh, about 200 people.
So you get there, you sit down in this big meeting room, and describe for me what happened.
Well, the board of commissioners were up front, and there was a table facing the commissioners, and everybody was in the back. And you would sign in, and you would put your name, and then you asked us, would you like to speak, and you would put yes or no, or just leave it blank. And then they would just call you up one by one to speak.
Okay. When they called your name, did you think, oh geez, why am I doing this?
Yep.
And did you have it written down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was there any reaction? Did they say anything after you finished speaking?
Nobody said anything, but a lot of people after the meeting came up to me and shook my hand.
They did? Well, that must have made you feel pretty good, huh?
Mm-hmm. The commissioner's wife came up and talked to me. She said I did really well.
Wow. That's great. Would you go speak to them again?
Probably, if I had to.
Uh-huh. So what do you think? How bad will that be if they cut the flounder harvest?
I think it would just kind of take us out of business. Well, not necessarily, but we wouldn't. It would drive us to a point where there was almost no reason to do it anymore because of how long we would have to fish and how much we could keep would just not be worth it.
What would your reaction be if they did cut it by 60%?
I'd be shocked
You would.
because a lot of their stock assessment of how many fish are in how many flounder there are, they're only looking at the Pamlico Sound. They're not looking at the flounder's entire migration pattern. They're only looking at the percent of fish from the migration that are coming into the sound.
Would you want to be a commercial fisherman when you get older?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel confident that you would be able to?
I'm really not sure. Just, you never know with everything changing. I mean, they might just completely shut down the commercial fishing industry altogether.